spectators, my topic is, should the United States be doing more to stop North Korea's nuclear proliferation?
7 minutes.
North Korea shocked the world in 1966 when they qualified for the World Cup. The World Cup is one of the most prestigious soccer events in all time, and it's no easy task. Only 32 nations make it in every year, and as a relatively new nation, it was pretty impossible for them to qualify, as the Korean War only happened in 1960, when they gained independence. This was a daunting task for them, and for the North Korean regime, it wasn't enough. Even though they made it out of the group stage by defeating Italy, one of the greatest teams at the time, they got thrashed in the round of 16. And the North Korean government didn't take this lightly. Instead of being called heroes or even qualifying for the event, they were sent to gulags and tortured till they died, as long as their families with them. This is just one example of North Korea's antics, proving how they are simply crazy. And it is safe to say that these antics are still going on today, as NPR on January 1st of this year states that North Korea's Kim Jong-un ordered for the exponential expansion of their nuclear arsenal. This just shows that they're arming for a potential conflict in the future. That brings the question that many people are asking. Should the United States be doing more to stop North Korea's nuclear proliferation? And the answer is simply yes, because North Korea is getting out of hand. First, take a look at how it's key for the United States to help our ally, South Korea. Before then, taking a look at how it's vital for the United States' defense as well to stop North Korea. And finally, taking a look at the possibility of nuclear Armageddon, although it might not happen. So first, let's take a look at our ally, South Korea. South Korea also qualified for the 2022 World Cup last year, and instead of being sent to gulags when they got eliminated, they were claimed heroes, and they had statues built of them in South Korea. This is just one example of their polar ideologies. North Korea is a dictatorship run by an autocratic leader, whereas South Korea is a democracy and is a very well-prospering liberal country. They are complete opposite in ideology, which leads to a lot of tensions. They also won a lot of wars and conflicts, and officially the war isn't ended yet. And so, North Korea's biggest enemy is South Korea. And South Korea is a key asset for the United States, as it is a key backdoor for many Asian countries such as Russia and China, who are biggest enemies of the United States at the moment. Having a democratic country on their doorstep is vital for the United States. So it's in our interest to help South Korea. As Reuters on March 12th of 2023 explains that North Korea's Kim Jong-un ordered for a simulation to see if they could wipe out South Korea and the United States with their nukes. And if they keep doing this, it just shows how they are trying to attack soon. So the United States needs to step up and save our ally. Next, let's take a look at how it's in the interest of the United States itself to help South Korea. As Politico on February 9th, 2023 explains, North Korea has run many simulations to see if they could wipe out the United States, and they could easily overrun the United States with its ICBM and nuclear potential. If the United States were to ever go to war with North Korea over protecting South Korea, North Korea could easily nuke us or take out many key cities. So it's in the interest for us to stop them. As CNN on December 12th of 2021 explains that North Korea's missiles could reach the United States in 33 minutes. And while this number might seem very high, and this means that it could take a while, if we let them keep developing a nuclear arsenal, they could cut this time down even more, meaning that they could make their nuclear arsenal stronger. If we let them keep building their nuclear power, that just means that we're letting them build an army against us. We don't want a harder enemy to defeat, and with the growing prosperity of North Korea's economy and their military, it's safe to say that the United States needs to step up and stop them. If we don't, it could spell the disaster of our nation, our allies, and the entire world. And that brings the topic of nuclear Armageddon. Although it might be obscure, with North Korea, we simply don't know. As the New York Post on December 12th of 2022 explains that the United States threatened and warned North Korea that any attack on the nation would mean the downfall of the regime. When they said this, they were trying to get at the point that if North Korea were to ever nuke the United States, they would not fear to reply back with another nuke themselves. This leads to the possibility of nuclear Armageddon, which is defined by the fact that if one nation were to attack another, they would reply back, and their allies would step in, similarly to World War I and World War II, where many allies stepped up to their defense. If this were to ever happen, North Korea has a lot of strong allies with nuclear weapons, such as Russia and China. These two nations combined could completely obliterate the United States and many of its allies. But the United States would also strike back on these nations. Nuclear weapons on each other's nations isn't good. Simply put, we will all die. Nuclear weapons will blow up everything and everything we know, from cities to towns to everything. So to simply stop North Korea's nuclear proliferation isn't a hard task compared to the entire destruction of the world. So today we understood the key question: should the United States be doing more to stop North Korea's nuclear proliferation? We understood that the answer is a daunting yes. We first took a look at how it's vital for the United States to help our ally, South Korea, in its war, before then taking a look at how it's simply safe for the United States as North Korea might want to attack us, and finally taking a look at the obscure possibility of nuclear Armageddon. And while North Korea's World Cup stars were persecuted in the gulags, it's safe to say that if the United States make sure that they can't increase their nuclear arsenal, we could maybe take over and make sure this doesn't happen again.